So I've had several people request Instagram. A lot of people, we use Facebook. It's, maybe we're not super proficient at Facebook yet, but we're, at least a little bit more aware about Facebook than Instagram for many of us. So that's funny, Cynthia. You just popped up on mine as soon as I pulled it up. So you're going to get used as a case study or an example now. So Instagram, the cool part first off about Instagram is there's no maxing out your amount of people. So hold on, my computer's now opening iTunes. Okay, so there's no maxing amount. What is it doing? I have a bottom screen of people. Where's the rest of the Zoom app? There it goes. There we go. Okay, so there's no max amount of people. So actually I have a friend that has 297,000 followers on Instagram. So it's pretty well limitless. There's people with like millions of followers. Whereas Facebook, we're limited to 5,000. Also, I look at Facebook a lot of times as more or less Facebook's more going to be your close friends and family, and then people that you have kind of those mutual connections with. Instagram could be kind of everything. It's a much wider umbrella. It could be people that follow you for more like, hey, I post like some food recipes. People might just follow me for food. Some people follow me and I'll talk to them and they follow me strictly because of the band stuff. And then some people, so it's kind of like they'll follow you in your niches. And what we're going to talk about tonight is how you can kind of showcase some of those niches. So I think the easiest way to do this is using visuals, because I'm super visual. So let's see. Okay, so there's Cynthia front and center on my screen. So she's figuring it out. So the first thing I was going to cover is this bio part right here, this first initial bio part where it says full-time van life, van under remodel. I did put my link in there and, so forth. So we have this main screen. What really appeals to people, so when they click on your profile, if you're just looking at my profile, say you don't know who I am, the first thing you're going to look at is that picture. So you want to be a picture of your face. You want brighter lights. So you want something that's going to display your personality. Like that picture is me with mud on my face and a mountain bike jersey. That's my personality. If you're super professional and that's your MO, that's your modus operandi, like have a more professional picture in there, but definitely be smiling. I think that's so big and crucial to have a picture where you're smiling, because that's very, kind of like open energy, like, hey, it's very welcoming. So that picture, and if you would click edit profile, you'll see there's this change profile picture. So you can import it from Facebook. You can take a picture. You can choose it. I would, if you have a nicer iPhone, I would go get go take a portrait picture if you're aware of how to do that. And I would make that picture a very tasteful picture with you smiling. So that's going to be the first thing, is that pic, because so many people, especially with Instagram profiles, and I do this, like the people I'm adding personally on Instagram are people that they have I just call it like a high energy profile. Like whenever you see their profile, they just look really positive and happy. And you're like, wow, there's something going on here. Versus like if that picture was me and it's dark lighting, or, I've seen some other people where they use like avatars or things like that. Those aren't super inviting and they're not very personable. So having a really good picture there is going to be crucial. And then coming down into the bio. So the bio you can also see right here. And one little trick on the bio is whenever you would do it, type it. This sounds weird, but like, how you have the Facebook where you put, like, you update your status on Facebook, or you make a post on Facebook, actually write your bio in that, like where it says what's on your mind. If you write your bio there, it'll space it out correctly. Because otherwise, for some reason, whenever you just go try to, like, if I would try to paragraph how it says like full-time van life and then underneath it says van remodel, Instagram can be kind of weird about it. So for me, I had to write my bio on the Facebook, and then I just copied it and pasted it in there. And then I didn't make that a post, but I typed it in there, copied and pasted it. And then what you're looking for here is to kind of showcase a little bit about your personality and kind of bullet points. So I made up lifestyle entrepreneur completely. I post a lot of like life by design. That's just something that I post. It's the lifestyle that I enjoy. So I made up lifestyle entrepreneur. I put mountain biking because I'm always mountain biking and I want to connect to people that are mountain biking. You know, Graham, I see you down there. It would be fly fishing or running, things of that nature. So that way that person immediately knows and they can link right to that. And then I put ketones greater than glucose versus putting like prove it independent promoter or anything like that, because the reason being, and it's not that we don't want to try to capture those people because we definitely do, it's a little less, you know, in their face. So what you're doing here is you're welcoming them in, and you don't want to like put anything that's too in their face that they're going to be like, oh, it's one of those people next. It's one of those people next, that kind of thing. And then I have a little location thing. There's a million ways to do this part. And this is where a lot of it comes down to creativity. If you look at mine, it's not overly creative, but at the same time, it showcases who I am and my personality. So that's a little bit about the picture and the bio. Those are going to be huge because those are the first things people see. They're going to look at that first to try to figure out who you are, because a lot of times it may sound creepy, but it's not. People are creeping on Instagram. Like that's the way you find people on Instagram, technically. Like you're browsing around, you're investigating into different people's lives and profiles and things like that. So the more you have in that first little thing when they see it, the more likely they are to continue looking at your profile, add you, be able to connect with you, things like that. Or whenever we're doing messages, I'll give some kind of tips and tricks on messaging people, especially cold market messaging, because the majority of what I'm doing personally on Instagram is all cold market. That is going to be where when you message them and they click on your profile who messaged me, well, if there's no profile picture in there and you have like keto promoter in the bio, it's very unlikely that they're even going to entertain messaging you back. So we have to set our profile up to set us up for success whenever it comes to the actual, you know, the work, the follow-ups, the things like that. So that's that piece. The other thing that you're going to see on here is username. So username can be whatever you make it. I honestly really do like just being your name. So Ethan Godwin. I went with Nomad Entrepreneur. That's just something in my head. I want to kind of market out and brand. It can definitely be your name or be to you. I wouldn't make it too over the top. Now, like if it was like Keto Queen, or it could be different. It can be kind of some fun things, but make sure it's unique to your personality. If you are going to go off and have a name, like I know, you know, if you're in real estate or if you're a hairdresser or you are in, you know, different things, then it can actually mold a little bit more to that, like Southern Keto Queen. You know, I see Lily down here. So it could be things like that. It will work, but make sure it's kind of tailored a little bit and don't overthink it. If you are overthinking the username, the cool part is like right here, I can go back and change this. So I could change all of that and then save it. So don't get caught on that. I'm going to discard that. I like it for right now. Okay, so now we're looking at, well, any questions on that? Everyone's open to unmute themselves. Anyone have questions on that so far? Okay. I clicked to stop, so I'm going to re-click it on. Boop. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is the pictures themselves. So my feed is more or less, it's a showcase of my lifestyle, the things I'm into, the things I'm doing. And I am mindful that I want to get the pictures. So like this picture, for like really these top pictures, honestly, they're very much strategic pictures that have been taken. So like this one is me running. It's more or less showcasing the 100-mile journey. And then you have a little caption under here. I didn't go crazy on the hashtags on this one. So first off, with just the pictures. So the way to do the pictures, can you see the bottom? I have these little faces. I need to move them to the side here. How do I do that? Okay, move them to the top. So if you're looking to post a picture, just because I do want to keep this like lowest common denominator for right now, say you've never touched Instagram, that middle button down there with the plus sign. So right at the bottom of those photos in the middle, you see that plus sign. If you click that, that's this turmeric thing I just made. That is going to be where you can post pictures. So you can scroll all your pictures and you can find it. Say I was going to do this goofy one of me from earlier when I was walking in the cold, and then I could kind of tell a story about it. So you kind of set the picture. For our photographers in here, they probably have all kinds of tips. I know there's something called the law of 2/3. I don't really understand it, but see where it has the, like, where the right above my eye, how there's that little point. You can kind of do the 2/3 point right there. So you don't want it to be like this necessarily. Like, you want to have a good looking picture, so you would want to be somewhere around like there. Or if it was a picture like, go down. Let's see, my parents bought one of these last night. Funny stuff. Like if it was this kind of picture, like instead of having it up here where my head's chopped off, you want to kind of, and all I'm doing is using my finger and kind of pulling down, and then you can kind of zoom in, zoom out. Other features you can have, there's this little, on the bottom left, you see this like kind of shrink and get bigger. What it's going to do is it's going to fill the whole square there, and then if you click it, it'll kind of do that. And then you can always zoom a little bit. So see how she's in the bottom 2/3? I would put her in the bottom 2/3, right on her nose there. And then that would be about how I would post that one. If you're going to post multiple pictures, so if you wanted to post more than one picture, you may now see that when you're scrolling through people's feeds and you see the little bubbles at the bottom, you can kind of swipe across. To do that, in the bottom right hand corner, you see those 3 little squares, I guess, kind of stacked together. If I would click that, you notice that all of the pictures, I'll click it and click it off, get this little bubble around it. So maybe I wanted to do the picture and then kind of the gift that she gave me. So then I can do both of those. And then if I hit next, then you'll see there's 2 pictures here. So I don't want to go too fast, but you'll see there's 2 pictures here. There's these filters at the bottom. I wouldn't worry about those right now. You can make yourself look way more tan if you click this in the corner of the picture, or really if you click the picture at all. So if you click the picture, and then above my head, in the middle of my head there's this light icon. If I click that, you'll see that you can kind of take the slider back and forth. And when you take it up, you can give yourself a nice little tan, but don't go like to here because it's going to be obnoxious. But somewhere around this, 15 to 20 range is going to make you look real nice. Or if it's a picture of the, landscape or something like that, it's going to really crisp it up. And then you can hit done. And then you'll hit done again in the corner, the top right corner. And then it's going to give me the option to do that same thing with the other picture, or I can just hit next. And then I'm going to go back and just show you if it's just one picture. You can also save it if you want to save it. So if it was just one picture, you click it, you want to adjust it. So you could just do the full frame like that. Since that's a little off, like if I do that, it's kind of cutting my head off. So I would shrink that just a hair, put Mary in the bottom left there. And then I would post the picture about like that. You could chop off some of that fan, I guess. So there, I would do it about like that. Then you hit next. You click this, you check it out. 50% is a bit much, but 15 looks pretty good. I gotta turn my brightness up to be able to really tell. Hit next again. And then this is where you're gonna be able to write your caption. So on this screen, we now have the ability to tag the person in the image. So it says tag people, Mary Beth, and the image. So I can tag people, I can click her name and hit Mary Beth. So then she would be tagged in it. And then you hit done. And then write the caption. This is where you don't really want full-blown stories on here all the time, but from time to time you can. The biggest part about captions is don't overthink it to the degree that you just don't post it. That happens to me all too often, where I just try to find the perfect caption. If it's a picture like this, it could be like, so like delighted to get to see Mary Beth and so grateful for the gift that she gave me, or something like that. Love our community, and things like that. So I always am in the caption, it's sharing your heart. That's the easiest way for me to describe it. It's really sharing why that picture is special to you, why you want to share it, you know, what's on your heart. To me, it was the fact that she brought me the book and she came over and she wanted to hang out. So it's kind of, I'm grateful, I'm appreciative. So using language around that. I'm going to go one little bit further. So you could type it all up. Oh, yes. Like grateful for Mary Beth. And then another weird thing Instagram does is it kind of crowds all your text together. So this might be a little bit more of an advanced hack, but on the bottom, I'm going to hit return because what I want to do is create like a paragraph. So I'll hit return and then I'm going to hit period because you have to have kind of like a placeholder, and then I'll hit return again and then I would type. So you can't do it like if I was just to do it like this, just 2 returns, and there right when I'm typing, it looks like there's a gap. Like right here, so like where you see it right there, there's a gap in between them, but as soon as I hit okay and post it, all of a sudden it's just going to shrink my text away. So what you have to do there, and sometimes you have to edit it, and sometimes it just gets frustrating, and this don't overthink it, get it posted first. But you'll click return, the period, and then return again. So that period should hold the place. Sometimes you have to finagle it. You have to hit like a space bar down here and then delete the A and do it like that. For some reason, sometimes it just gets finicky. So you put your caption. So don't overthink the caption, share from your heart on that end. The next thing is going to be hashtags. So many of you have heard of a hashtag, likely unaware really what a hashtag is. So like opt outside. I know opt outside, if you're familiar with the company REI, that's their hashtag. And why I would use opt outside, I wouldn't use it in this photo, but if it was a trail photo, if I'm outside, because everyone that clicks that hashtag is going to see all of the pictures that have that same thing. So you want to create the hashtags somewhat relatable to the image. So here with this, it could be, you know, like keto family, prove it, be better. I wouldn't do be. So the reason I wouldn't do be better is because likely you can see you can see when I post be better, actually, never mind. Be better is a good one. So be better has 1,153,000 people that have posted using that hashtag. So that would be a great hashtag to use, or be better every day, or be better today, because those have some. If you type one in and it just says, you know, like if you type, I'm in Newburgh, Indiana right now, but if you type Newburgh keto in, no one's ever posted with that hashtag. So it's really not going to do us any good. If you type Newburgh in, so Newburgh, Indiana right here. So anytime I'm in hometown, or a lot of times when I'm in the town, or if I went on a hike in, you know, Boise, I would put Boise. And what that does is it's going to really support getting our post out to those people that we've never met before, that are creeping around, that they're, you know, they're browsing around, maybe is a better way to word it, on Instagram. They're clicking hashtags. Where they would be doing that, I'll continue here first before I go. I'll show you where you can click on hashtags. And then I usually at a location like Newburgh or wherever you're at kind of thing. It was Angel Mounds earlier. And then you would click share. Something to note, you do have this that says advanced settings here. You don't need to mess with that. You also can link it to your Facebook. I have that set up. I was told not to do that. So if I wanted to make this exact same post on Facebook, I would just hold down, copy all the text, and then post the photo and then paste the text versus sharing it. There's something with the algorithm, so I'm just going to trust them on that one. And all you got to do is, you know, quick copy and paste there and that. So I wouldn't use these options down here as far as sharing it from Instagram. Okay, so then you would click share and then it's going to be in your feed. So I'm going to discard that one. Feel free at any point, if you have a question, just unmute and just yell it out, because if you have the question, likely others do. And for me, Instagram is like, I spent like my screen time majority is on Instagram. So I'm likely to overshoot some things that maybe could be more confusing because it's foreign terminology. And then you come down, you see there's an IGTV. So we're not going to cover Instagram TV tonight, but there is this possibility of utilizing Instagram TV. So it's kind of like similar stuff that I'm doing on Facebook. I don't have a ton of traction off these, but they're here. So people could scroll through, and if it's the right person looking through your profile, they'll go for it. They'll look through. Like there, I just saw Jerry. Jerry, I forgot this was on here. So then, we have people could get educated. They could be creeping me and seeing my content. Also, whenever I'm personally messaging people, so say I message Amanda and Amanda doesn't know who I am, not whatsoever, but she's sitting at work and all of a sudden she's like, who is this person? Well, she can look through my pictures, but then she can also look at that Instagram TV, or she could look at my stories. So stories would be something we cover here in just a second. That's on my list. And then that'll be the majority of that. And then we'll go kind of questions, and then I'll show you anything else on here. But with the stories, so there's Cynthia right here. So she did Boise, Idaho. Her handle is, oops, sorry, I won't do that to you, Cynthia. So her handle here is just her name, whereas you could see mine is going to be that Nomad Entrepreneur. And then you can see a little oil and vinegar. So it's a funny post. I like it. And then napkin please made them laugh, new fashion trends. So there's two ways to use hashtags. So I like that we just found this. One way to use the hashtag is to do kind of like, you can add stuff into the caption that you weren't going to say. So those are all funny things, and that's brilliant. There's likely not a ton of people that have those hashtags, but here's how you tell. You can click them. So like napkin please. 3,919 people posted that, and you can see right off the bat, the first post is Cynthia under this napkin please. Or if you click new fashion trend, 12.3 thousand people. So, and then you can also see people can follow these hashtags. So I follow the Sedona hashtag. So I see all the people that post with hashtag Sedona, not all of them by any means. I'm not seeing all 12,000 of those or however many posts on that one, but they're coming up in your feed. Similarly, people are going to be following the hashtags that we use. So made them laugh. So see this one, 419, likely you're not going to get a lot of traction off that hashtag, but what it is it's kind of, it's adding to the post in a way. You'll notice that Facebook has sponsored stuff. We're not going to talk about sponsoring ads. Here's Jack Mitchell. Ooh, look at this. They prove it's got a milk frother. They're catching up. I love it. So the milk frother here, when your CEO leads by example, thanks be you. Gratitude, prove it forward. So gratitude is a great one. So 14.9 million. The one thing here with this hashtag, and don't get too diluted with hashtags, but 14.9 million, you're kind of get lost in the numbers there. So, you might go to something a little bit more specific than just gratitude, or prove it forward. See, there's only 374. So this is a great one to utilize. I love the prove it forward one. I'm just going to see if any of our community stuff is in the prove it forward one, just to kind of show you how they work. So you can see if I click prove it forward and I'm just curious, like, what's this prove it forward thing? You can scroll around and get a pretty good idea of what it is. So see, here you go. Here I am with Ryan dressed up last year. So because we use those hashtags, they pop up. And that's a great way. So a lot of people right now, when they come into these hashtags, they're doing keto. They're doing, all these different low carb, hashtag low carb. And then they're like, a lot of people will go search and find recipes for dinner based on that. And then they'll like your post, and then you can kind of interact. That's where Instagram is this really wide net. Whereas Facebook's more, our friends and family, it's limited to 5,000 people. Instagram is a super wide net that even though these people aren't following you, if your profile is public, which that can be another thing we talk about. I'm going to write that down. But if your profile is public, then everyone can, when they click the hashtag, see the different things. And then maybe it's just a profile. I wouldn't put super personal things on there if you were worried about that and make it public. But when it's public, you have the ability to grab a lot more eyeballs, especially on posts that are like food and things like that, or, nature stuff, things where when they see it, they're going to be like, wow, it's a great picture. Maybe they comment, and then that gives you the ability to start at the interaction. That's where the interaction is where this really comes down to being a business thing. So you can see what is this? Is this keto? Look, there's just more and more bars coming into the space, which is awesome. So someone like, we'll scroll. So see, this is like a hashtag. I'm following this hashtag. See how it says hashtag Van Crush? I'm following that hashtag. So I don't have a clue who this person is, but their stuff's now on my feed. So then I can kind of like it and interact with them if I wanted to. And by interacting, what I mean is, so I'm going to go back to one of these posts. So this is a post with my mother. So you can kind of go through the comments. I know who these people are. I don't know who this person is. So the first thing I click on their profile, I kind of look around. There is a lot of bots that operate on Instagram, but you could just simply message this person. Hey, I appreciate you. Comment. Appreciate it. The reason you want to do stuff like that is because every time you type a comment, that's where this is kind of the nooks and crannies is where I find my time for Instagram, because that's a little thing that can go a long way, because that person could comment back, that person could start following me, and then if they follow me, what I do, someone keeps sending me all these messages. So let's see if they follow me. Let's see if I have a recent one I've done this with. Like this girl. She's like a professional mountain biker or something. I started with something else. You can see I have a lot of random conversations on Instagram. Let's see. This girl. So see, you can see the relationship part in these. This is over a period of time. This person did eventually buy ketones. So here's the original post, February 16th, 10 a.m. Hey, Rachel, thanks for the like on my photo. Stumbled onto your page and thought you'd be a person who'd love ketones and wanted to know if you were familiar with drinking them. Happy Friday. So, hi, just recently, so see how someone that I've never met in my entire life, now I've built a friendship through lots of conversation. So how does it work? I typically, some of these I probably got too nerdy for my own good. But then here, like, make magic moments and ignore, because they were going to Disney World. So you're being real. This is the part you can't train. This is the part I wish I could train for everybody. It's being you. It's our CEO's initials, Brian Underwood, be you. That's the part where we can't really train it, but we have to be mindful that this is not a transaction business. It's a business that is about being better. That's a little disturbing. We'll go to that one. So it's a business about building relationships and supporting people to better. Similarly, this girl just ordered the other day, and if you would want to see the first thing that I sent her, so you can see the relation. I want everyone to see the relationship side of this. It is a real conversation. It's a real friend I'm trying to make here. And these are over time. Like, yes, this is a very long thread, but this is like a couple messages here and there. So what she did, she replied to one of my stories, cold plunges for the wind. I can do it every once in a while. So we just started a conversation. I'm not sure if there was more to that one or not. But some around CBD. So like love it for sleep. And then you just go into conversation. At a certain point, you just, through the conversation, they wonder about ketones. Like, look, we're sharing like hummingbird photos. It's relationship based. And then just recently, I just shared a podcast with her because now I'm texting with her. So now I just shared a podcast with her. So, and I've never met this person, completely just off of Instagram. What's, kind of like if you were going on a blind date, you're going to try to gather all the information you can. That's back to that very first thing we mentioned is, you know, if you would start scrolling through my profile, you can get a pretty good understanding of who I am. And you don't have to have all these like super fancy anythings. Like this is a picture of straws that are made out of pasta. Welcome to California, where you buy weed from the store and plastic straws from a dealer. So just being funny. But this one got traction from being like plastic free. So plastic free would be a pretty good one. 733,000. It's a pretty good blend. And then you can see you'll get people that I don't follow that have liked it. So if I went through here, all these people with the blue one that I don't follow necessarily, they like the post. So then I have reason to go back to them. So if you're really just getting started and you're using Instagram, I could go to this Jordan girl and then I can see she's got mutual friends. I don't follow her, but at the same time, I can reach out to her. So the way you would do that, like this girl, I can't even see her profile. She follows me. I don't follow her. I could click the top 3 dots here. So that's one thing. Everyone check out in the under my battery icon, there's those 3 dots and you can hit send message. So then I have talked to her before. So this is my standard right here. Grateful for the ad, Jennifer. Hope you're having an awesome Friday. That's not supposed to be a question mark. Thanks for the ad. Need all the help with this keto diet. So it sounds like it would be impossible to do it this way, but really, if your profile is putting the content out, the biggest thing, if you're making notes, just write, if you're not consistent with it, it's not going to work, period. Don't put a lot, like, don't think because you watch this Zoom tonight that you need to go do Instagram like crazy. Let me check the calendar. The business review calls started. What time did that start? Okay. Why does my phone say it's 9:41? Okay, it started just a few minutes ago. So we're going to hop off and get on that. But don't think that you have to know all of these ins and outs for it to be useful. Because if it's too much, and then like here, she sent me this, you know, It Works product. I can speak from our products. We're not lower heat, only bump them up. So, you know, she said she loved it kind of thing. So then you can kind of just keep having conversations. The main thing is consistency is key here. So see, then Callie just posted this. That's funny. But consistency is the key. And that looks like posting. We didn't get into the stories because I think that'll be advanced. We can do another one. I think let's collect all the questions. So everyone that's on here this evening, whatever I've glazed over or went too fast over, just in the essence of time, shoot me those questions and we'll kind of keep compiling maybe like a little bit more advanced Instagram, because the next thing is these stories. So if you're familiar with the stories, the coolest part about them is that if you swipe up, I can see everyone that's watching them. So in essence, you can kind of start a warm market, a lukewarm market here with all these people. Like, I have no clue who this person is. Not a clue. The thing is, and I'll show you in person. So he replied on one of my songs, of my stories. So simply it could be, hey, Kevin, saw you in my Insta story and wanted to reach out and see if you had any interest in ketones or ketosis, or are aware of what it is. Cheers and hope you have a great day. So this is the nooks and crannies. I have no attachment to the outcome, not at all. This is very similar to when you're messaging, hey, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? The thing is here, I know Kevin knows a little bit about what it is because he saw this. Like, I am 100% certain Kevin saw this photo yesterday. 100% certain. So this gives us the ability to have a lukewarm market, because I don't know who Kevin is, but I know he's watching my stuff. And if he's watching my stuff, he's interested at some level. Otherwise, he wouldn't be watching my stuff. The real power will ultimately end up coming with prospecting. And this side, I didn't see the chat. Okay, Melanie, perfect. And if you need a chat, or if we need to just hop on one-on-one, we can always do that too. I like the idea of having like a little bit advanced class. I then posted a bunch of quotes in here. And then this is a boomerang. So this is all in a story. We'll cover the stories more. I do want to pop over that call. But the idea of the stories is they last 24 hours. So it's kind of like Snapchat or something like that. And if you're not aware of Snapchat, it's a rolling 24 hours. So, and the top of this story, this was last night. It was 23 hours ago. You'll see next to where it says your story, 23 hours ago. So in an hour from now, this picture will go away, and the first picture will be this one, which was 12 hours ago. But the real bread and butter here for our business and really growing it is attracting and growing a following. Whenever I first started doing these stories, it was like 10 people watched them. And now sometimes there's like 300 to 400 people that'll watch them. Sometimes it's 200. I'm not really worried about that. I'm more worried about, when I click on it and I'm going through, okay, well, I know Ryan, Alex, I know Nolan, I know these people. And then it's like, okay, well, who is, like this girl? I know who she is. Similar conversation. If I scrolled up, I started it. You drink tequila out of a champagne glass. Savage. Like, it was something I commented back to one of her stories and then started like a conversation around it. Or this one. So you can see a lot of these are just me having conversations. Grateful for the follow, Callie. For sure, you truly inspired me. So I was on a podcast with a friend. She found me that way. So even being on the podcast with a friend, and I know that's not something we all have access to necessarily, but at the same time, she wasn't going to message me. She started following me, but she wasn't going to message me. So we have to open those conversations. So Corey Jones is someone I was on a semester abroad program with, and he did buy at one point. And then he messaged, hey, Ethan recently started keto. So you can get a lot of traction off of Instagram. The main thing, so you may not see like my last post on up here, was Sunday. So I'm not as consistent right now. I need to be better. I'm working to be better. I will be better. As far as making my post here, I am super consistent every damn day on these stories. So that's why there's a following of people here. And that's why I'm always messaging those people. And that's kind of like starting conversations. Or it triggers my visual brain when I see their name. I'm just kind of keeping that tally. So I'm going to undo the screen share. Went a little long. Let's stop this recording. I didn't mean to go into the call because